Tottenham 3, Slavia Prague 0, and first of all, I've got to say, like, those bloody Slavia Prague fans,
Oh
man,
my word,
they were
crazy.
something else last night. Apparently they were blocking off the high road before the game yesterday. They came in the game all synchronised. Half of the away end was red, half the away end was right. Halfway through, they all started holding up these like half red and half white shirt. It was a sight to behold. They were shaking the stadium.
Scarves out.
Yeah, the scarves. At the end of the game, we were doing our match review. The stadium was empty. But all of them were still there.
Yeah, they were buzzing. They were loving it. The players were going over their leading chants. It was actually a sight to behold. I wish some of that could be taken into our club and have
It all seemed very synchronised, didn't it?
Yeah, it was great, and I think that kind of culture clearly for them, it's like you back your team through thick and thin, and you go away, lose 3-0, but you show pride for your team. And unfortunately, we've obviously spoken about that in our club and in the Premier League, and that because we're so kind of results based, and because we pay so much money. It's the
expectancy, isn't it?
That's it. There's set expectations. We will never have what I saw yesterday with Slavia. Unfortunately, obviously we have great away fans, and I'm not saying like I don't think our fans are good in their own right, but that real culture of just like having that pride in your team no matter what, that seems to have obviously been lost with our fans, and I think a lot of English fans.
So look, credit to the Slavia Prague fans yesterday. They really turned up in their numbers and made a big racket at the stadium last night. So obviously we were there last night, and what a night it was. And not just the football. I think let's talk about Sonny, because Sonny was back in N17 last night. We all saw him, the pictures and the videos of him at the mural a couple of hours before we even got there last night. We got there quite early as well. But as soon as we got there, we headed straight to the mural, which I thought was fantastic. The detail on it, the pictures were perfect. I think the way it's been done is fantastic. A lot of people were questioning the kind of location of it. From where we go into the stadium, it's like quite far away from the south stand, isn't it? So you've got to walk past the stadium, past the road that leads to White Hart Lane Station, and it's there on the wall.
Basically opposite the bricklayers.
Yeah.
Essentially,
yeah, exactly, just opposite the bricklayers. But I think just as the mural itself, I think it's absolutely fantastic. And the high road now is starting to look decent. You know, you've got Ledley King on one side, you've got Harry Kane bang in the middle, you've got Sonny on the other side. We just need a few statues popped up here and there and everywhere, and it's starting to look a lot better.
Who's next to get a mural? Who'd be your prediction?
Next to get a mural, Ben Davis.
Ben Davis mural. I guess he'd be the only candidate right now in the team. But no, the Sonny mural is fantastic. I think it's obviously got his iconic celebration and the trophy lift. Apparently, he had a big say. I think he advised them what kind of pictures to use. If he said that picture of him lifting the trophy, that's his favourite one. And so I'm so glad we have that, and we have that just piece of history there to pay tribute to him, because he deserves it, and that's the standing he has now within our club. He's an absolute legend, and I'm delighted that they've put that up, and that's such a great thing to see now. And as you say, it adds a collection of murals now we have down the high road, which hopefully down the years there'll be many more, but that one's a really special one. And to see him coming back to the stadium was it was a long time coming. It was always been a topic of conversation ever since he left. When are we going to get to say goodbye to him? Is he going to come back in person? Because kind of leaving how he did was kind of hard to take. You know, going straight to LA from Korea. That was always going to be something that the fans always wanted. So it was a great moment, wasn't it?
It was fantastic. It really was. Really emotional. The way they did it as well, with the highlight kind of reel, and then you had him coming out the car. It was like a WWE walk-on or something like that. But yeah, just seeing him come out onto the pitch, and his speech, I think it could have been done a little bit better, to be honest. Look, it was
from the heart, wasn't it? Completely.
It was completely from the heart, but I felt like he kind of got lost in his words a little bit, and I think he wanted to say a lot more than he actually said. And I felt like, but I said it to you last night, but I felt like he should have done what he did before the game and then come out at half-time and done like a proper interview with Paul Coy. I thought there should have been more, like you mentioned yesterday, more stuff around the stadium. I know there was all branding everywhere, and that was great. But, you know, a lot of fans calling for a TIFO yesterday. Maybe there was not enough time to arrange it or anything because it was only got announced last week. Yeah, I just thought they could have involved the fans a bit more.
Yeah, I think a TIFO would have been really, or even a massive flag or something.
Yeah.
Just something, so the fans can show their appreciation. But at the end of the day, yeah, maybe it was something that was short notice, so there's only so much you can do. But I felt there was just little bits maybe missing. Maybe he could have come out with the trophy instead of, well, I know he got given something, didn't he? I don't know what it was, for commemorative.
It was like some golden cockerel,
which is nice,
thing, yeah.
really great. Which is really great. But at the end of the day, the most important thing was he was there in person. All the fans got to say goodbye to him, and it was touching. He says, "I hope Spurs fans never forget me. You always be in my heart." All the all the nice things people say when they leave. So that was really touching moment. He was spending after the game. About 10 minutes to 15 minutes, maybe longer, I don't know, but he was basically out in his seat just waving goodbye to all the fans and showing his appreciation. So that was a really nice moment as well. So hopefully there's a bit of closure there for a lot of Tottenham fans who felt like they never got to say goodbye. The only thing was the ticket sales were really poor yesterday. I mean, I would have thought was Sonny, going to be there in person. You'd have thought that would have boosted sales. Was actually lower than it was for Copenhagen, which was a bit of a surprise. But again, that goes to show the problems Tottenham are having selling tickets in general this season. And
but that was probably the worst of the lot, though.
Probably, yeah. I don't know what it was for Doncaster, but maybe this one was the worst. 47,000. So literally 20,000 empty seats.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
They have to address it. They have to address that issue because it's getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
I don't know what the attendances were last season, but were they ever this bad? Maybe.
Well, the Europa League group stage games last season were very well priced, to be honest.
Yeah.
Now we're in the Champions League, but we're still playing league quality opposition.
Right.
Kind of like the prices are hiked, but the level of opposition hasn't been hiked, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, it's just not great. And Dortmund is going to be classed as a Category B, which has been downgraded from a Category A. But that is a Champions League quality opposition, so we'll see what happens. And it's actually a massive game, that Dortmund game. So I expect Dortmund to be more full, and I think Dortmund will feel more like a Champions League game. But I said it to you last night, like, it doesn't even feel that it's a Champions League game tonight. You know, you hear the music, but... You know, I'm just used to these Champions League games at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and at White Hart Lane just being electric atmosphere. And because we've played Prague and Villarreal and Copenhagen, it just hasn't felt the same, has it?
Will Wibber says, I was at the game last night. My section was so quiet, I thought I could hear Ben singing.
Where were you sitting, mate? Where was he sitting? If he was sitting in the West Stand, he probably could hear me singing.
Yeah, he probably could. But it's been an issue, which I think obviously the Supporters Trust are trying to bring up. They're trying to rectify it. They're trying to create a dialogue with the club to try and get more bums on seats, essentially, and try and fill that stadium, because this season I think it's definitely been a problem. But anyway.
But also, I think a big problem this season stems from what they did with the tickets, not being able to transfer them over to anyone with a CRN, because you have to be a paying member now. You know, that's kind of taken away tickets from a lot of people
at an extra cost.
Yeah.
And the problem is like they're putting it on the exchange. It's like, okay, you shouldn't be able to gift your ticket to a friend. If you can't go, give it to other fans who want to go. But they're putting it on the exchange and they're not going.
Yeah.
Like no one's taking them.
Yeah.
You go on the exchange and there's thousands and thousands of tickets unsold. And no one's taking them up. Even away games, you know, you can't. Some games you can't give your tickets away. Newcastle away, no one wanted them. So it's a troubling problem at the moment. Yeah,
it's kind of making a mockery of being in this stadium, to be honest. We were selling out quite regularly, and then when we were able to transfer the tickets to anyone, and now, as someone mentions in the comments, 47,000 last night, and Doncaster was 42,000.
Okay.
So it's not great, is it? You know, a lot of empty seats, and you could notice it as soon as you walked into the stadium as well. So, yeah, look.
Maybe as the form improves, maybe that'll get better.
Yeah, I think it will get better, but I just think they need to open up the ticket thing again to anyone with a CRN.
Yeah, I think they've made a mistake. And apparently as well, there was a lot of, I've heard reports of a lot of away fans in the home end yesterday.
Not surprising.
So the whole point of doing this CRN thing was to stop away. They said anyway it was to stop away fans coming in the home end. But apparently this isn't the first. Apparently Man United, there was a lot of home fans in the away end, away fans in the home end, and the same with yesterday.
Well, we saw it ourselves, didn't we? In front of us, we were chatting to some guy, and suddenly his son just whips off his top, and he's got a Prague top underneath.
So it doesn't seem to solve the problem at all. So why have they done it? It's been nonsense.
Yeah. But look, on the game, I think Frank went strong in terms of his lineup. We went for Odegaard on the left with some much-needed minutes, and I felt like we started off really well, didn't we? We opened him up within seconds with that Odegaard down the left. I think it was a really nice ball from Jed Spence, and he found Richarlison at the back post. Richarlison's got to be doing better there. Albeit, look, it's a great reflex save, but still, Richarlison's got to be doing a lot better.
You know what? I thought it was a good save by the keeper, but
it was straight at him. Really,
it was. I watched the replay, and it was he should have really buried it in one of the corners. It was way too central. Kind of, I don't mind. It was it's a bouncing finish, but I think it hit the keeper's shoulder and. Look, good reflex, but Rishi has to score there. But it was, we did start on the front foot. I thought Odegaard started really bright, but kind of faded.
Yeah, 100%. I felt like he had two moments in the game. There was that one, and there was one in the second half. But apart from that, he didn't really do much. And I feel like it's games like this where you need to really grab your opportunity if you're someone like Odegaard. And if you don't do that, like, it's hard to consider you to start in the next game in the Premier League if you're not grabbing a game like Slavia Prague by the game of scruff of the neck.
Yeah, he always kind of looks bright and he looks like he's threatening, but without really threatening. Like, he'll take someone on, create a yard, then his cross will be blocked or it'll be inaccurate.
He needs to improve his end product.
Yeah, that's
massively.
Kind of the problem at the moment. I think, look, he looked like it wasn't like having a stinker or anything. He just had numerous occasions where he was one-on-one with his fullback. He had an opportunity to really go at them or create a chance, and he was just unable to do so while also kind of looking threatening because he's running at them, but he never actually created much. I thought he started bright, created that chance, and I thought Tottenham were kind of on the front foot for most of it, albeit Slavia definitely did hold a threat. But most of the time it was kind of long-range shots. Yeah,
look, I think Vicario had to make too many saves. I know a lot of them were just routine saves and pretty easy saves to make, but I think he made a couple of decent saves on the night. And for my liking, I just felt like we let them have a bit too much encouragement at times, and we let them have too many shots. Look, don't get me wrong. I thought it was a decent performance. I don't think it was an unbelievable performance. I don't think... You know how Frank was talking in the press conference a few weeks ago about, like, 11 games will be brilliant, however many games will be this, however many games will be that. That was probably in the...
above average.
Just above average. Yeah, exactly. Just above average category, because I thought we created, more than enough chances to win the game, albeit we only scored through an own goal and two penalties, but we created more than enough chances to win the game. But what I didn't like about that game is just how easy it was for Slavia Prague to kind of cut us open at times.
Yeah, we lacked a bit of control. I think we kind of looked really good when we were playing quick and direct football straight into the wingers, getting them into space, get them taking on their fullbacks, get them putting crosses in and cutbacks, and that's when we looked at our most dangerous. But Slavia, I think they were playing this kind of man-to-man pressing. They were kind of being quite aggressive as well, and at times were able to play through us, and at times they never really created too many clear opportunities. I think there was one header they had in the first half, which went just wide. Most of their chances did come from range, but again, leaving too much space outside the box and allowing those shots to come in. But I guess Frank would say, well, look, they didn't score, and those kind of shots are less likely to go in. So is it that much of an issue? It has been an issue for us, hasn't it, in the last month or so, conceding long-range efforts.
That's what I was saying to you at the game, like... if we played a team of higher quality, they'd probably put one or two of those away.
Potentially. We definitely would have had to be better if we're playing a high quality team. But I think for me, it makes sense against a team like Slavia. Yes, they had maybe too many. Look, they had a lot more of the game than Brentford did on Saturday, didn't they? Brentford had barely anything. We were able
a lot more of the game that Copenhagen did as well.
Yeah, they did, but I thought they didn't have that many clear-cut opportunities. So I think as much as they probably got a bit of encouragement, they never really looked like scoring. Maybe they did. Maybe they could have got a goal or maybe a consolation, but they never looked like they were getting back in the game. I thought first half, potentially, you could say that. I think first half was a bit more even. Vicario did have to make some saves. But again, most of the saves he made were from range. I thought second half, we did take a bit more control of the game and were able to just control how we were attacking, and we restricted them a bit more.
Yeah, look, I thought they did look like scoring, to be honest. But I thought we just looked like scoring more than they did. Like, it was a very open game, in my opinion. I think Spurs were the better team on the day and thoroughly deserved the win. So that's why I'm not unhappy with the performance yesterday. I was just expecting a bit more. When you're looking on the back of the Brentford game, when you look at how we destroyed Copenhagen a few weeks ago, I was expecting a performance a bit reminiscent of those performances where you got complete control and we're cutting them open at will. And look, we did cut them open quite a few times in the game. I think the stats read, 6 big chances in the game. 2 of them obviously penalties. But yeah, look, I was content with it, but I wasn't like that. I don't think it was like one of those performances where we blew away the opposition.
No, but I also don't think 3-0 flattered us. So at the end of the day, it's fine. But I think we were much better against Brentford. I think that was a much more complete performance, and maybe Copenhagen as well. You could say we were probably much better in that game as well.
Yeah.
But also, you have to say this game was a lot better than what we've seen in a lot of games this season. So from that point, it's another step in the right direction. Probably keeps up our momentum, and it's another positive performance. But yeah, it could have been better. There's definitely things to improve. But I enjoyed watching us a lot more yesterday than I have done in a lot of other games.
Yeah, I mean, put it this way: if we don't get those 2 penalties, are we still talking about it like that? Like, probably not.
I think so. I think we probably score other chances. You know, I think we probably create other chances. I think we probably still win the game by at least a 2-goal margin, in my opinion.
The reality is we never scored from open play yesterday. It was a great flick on from Romero to force the own goal through, all the terrible own goal for Slavia to concede. And the other 2, look, we won the penalties quite well. Stupid challenges in the box from them. I don't know what they're thinking for both of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
Javi does really well for the second one, and Porro just, I don't know what that challenge on Porro was.
Yeah, I'd say Javi earned his penalty. I think the Porro one was just a brain dead moment from the Slavia defender.
Yeah.
No, but I think I know what you're saying, but at the end of the day, like, we did from open play. It's not like we didn't have enough chances to win that game 3-0. I know we didn't score them, but it's not to say that we didn't open them up.
Their keeper kept them in the game at times. That's the reality.
He made a brilliant double save from Tell and Sarr. He made a great save from Rishi right at the start of the game as well. Like, we had the chances to blow them away. And so I think even without the penalties, it could have been 3-0, even if you take those penalties away.
Yeah, got maybe like 3-1 or something. But yeah, 100% we deserve to win the game, no doubt about it. In terms of the standouts, I think the 2 standouts were really Javi and Kudus. Like, both of them from an attack standpoint. Kudus they couldn't live with for the majority of the game, and I felt like a lot of what we were doing in terms of link-up play, progressing the ball up the pitch, was all coming through Javi as well. So I think Javi is growing in a Spurs shirt. Kudus, after a bit of a period where, a bit of downturn in his performance, I think the last couple of games now, he's really kind of getting back to those levels now, isn't he?
Yeah, looking a lot sharper, and I was really impressed with him yesterday, taking his man on. There was points where he was just looking unstoppable. Again, he did seem to fade a bit in the second half, which is probably why he got taken off. But I thought first half he was really good. Javi, I think, throughout the game, he was so difficult to deal with for Slavia. I thought everything kind of good was kind of flowing through him. He was doing switches of play. He was drawing fouls. He was flicking it past players. He was any sort of little bits of magic and ingenuity. Javi was at the heart of, and obviously he did brilliantly to win the penalty. Bit of luck sticking it away, but he stuck it away. I think the problem with his technique is sometimes you don't get the power that you need from that kind of position, because when you stop just before you take it, you kind of lose that momentum, and that's maybe what happened with his penalty, and he kind of got a bit lucky to squeeze it in, but then again, it was too good for the keeper to keep out, so he did score. But yeah, I thought he played brilliantly again, and he's just growing in confidence. He's playing the ball quicker. I thought it was another really strong performance from Xavi, and he's just seeming more and more confident. Another
player, actually, who I think is really turning a corner in this season now is Pedro Porro. I thought Porro had a really good game yesterday. Had his hand in 2 of the goals that we scored. Obviously got chopped down for the penalty. It was his corner that led to the first goal as well. But it wasn't just that. I felt like he was picking up such good areas, getting forward, finding himself in the box. Defensively, I don't think much came down his side as well. So I thought Pedro Porro really had a top display yesterday. And did you not think so?
No, I didn't actually. I thought he was fine. I didn't think it was bad, but I thought he was far better against I thought he was far better against Brentford. I actually didn't think he was getting forward as much.
I thought he found himself in really good moments in the opposition box, and obviously one of them won us a penalty.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he did in that moment. I'm not saying he had a bad game. Don't get me wrong.
And I also feel like his passing and crossing is getting a lot better, because like we saw like a few weeks ago the Chelsea game. He didn't play the Arsenal game, but a few other games around that period, like his passing just seemed so off it, and I feel that's all starting to come back a bit now.
Yeah, I'm not saying he had a bad game. I just didn't think he was especially good. Like he was better than he has been for a lot of those other games, I think. And but those other games, obviously, he was trash for a lot of them. He was like really bad. But I just thought he seemed a lot more energetic for me against Brentford. He didn't seem to have that same energy. But that's whatever. He was decisive, as you say, with the moments. I just didn't think he was like that great.
That's a difference of opinion then, isn't it? Like, I thought he was very good yesterday. And another good performance from Jed Spence.
Yeah.
Jed Spence out on the left-hand side. He was playing a kind of like Ange role yesterday, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was given freedom. You saw that because Odegaard was told to stick to the wing, it seemed. And Jed Spence was given that license to either stay wide or invert. He looked like he was given freedom to kind of find a way out, and that's maybe how it has to be. But I think that role probably suits him a lot more, left back, albeit on Saturday he was much more staying wide and getting to the byline, which I really, really liked. But doesn't mean you can't be effective doing the other thing. I think just in general he hasn't been that effective doing it this season a lot of the time. But yesterday I think he picked his moments really well, and I thought he linked up really well with Odegaard, especially in the first half.
Yeah, and that's been a big criticism, hasn't it? That when Spence and Odegaard have been on that side together, the link-up play hasn't really been there. I thought it was much better yesterday from that aspect. And Archie Gray just keeps growing and growing. I don't think him and Paulinho is maybe the best kind of pivot to go for, or pairing to go for in the middle of the park. I thought Gray looked a lot more comfortable next to Bentancur on the weekend, but you can see like he's at home in this team, and he's at the required level in my opinion, and I think he keeps growing and growing. Yeah,
and I thought the pass from him to Porro for the penalty was brilliant, on the money, and also the pass from him, he set up Odegaard as well after winning the ball in the middle, charges down, sets up Odegaard, who probably should score. So I thought he was really great on the ball. I thought he had a pretty good partnership, I felt, with Paulinho. I thought, I do agree. I think the one with Bentancur was better, to be honest. But I actually thought Paulinho had a pretty good game, actually, with him yesterday. And
There's a few progressive passes in there from Paulinho, but I still thought it was too conservative.
Yeah, he is definitely. I thought he got less conservative in the second half, but first half he just refuses to play the ball forward. He just so hesitant.
There was a few in there, but
I thought second half there was more. I thought second half there was more. First half again he was just playing it backwards, but I thought Gray was the one, obviously being more progressive, and I think having Javi back in the team helps a lot. I think without him, you don't get away with it as much, but because you can just give the ball into Javi and he just does a little flick, and all of a sudden you've broken the lines again. You've broken 2 lines. So I thought that was really good.
What is the issue at Tottenham with penalty takers, man? Do we not have a recognised penalty taker? Because every penalty that we've got this season, there's been an argument or a brewing argument to go and take it. There was the one at Copenhagen. Obviously, there was that thing with Dane and Richarlison, and someone had to come and sort out and give the ball to Richarlison.
Well, I don't think there was an actual argument, was there?
Well, maybe it was just the fans.
It's just the fans
maybe it was just the
yeah.
fans. But yesterday, there was definitely an aspect of that where Romero had to come and sort out twice of who's taking the penalty. Richarlison clearly wanted the first one, didn't he? And Romero came over and be like, nah, Richarlison, get away. This is for Kudus. And Kudus didn't even seem like he wanted it, but Romero was like, look, Kudus, this is your penalty. And the second one as well, Javi taking it, and I think there was a bit of a conversation there as well. So is there a penalty taker at Spurs, or is there not?
Great question. Obviously, Sonny and Kane have had those duties for so long. We kind of haven't needed to even have that conversation.
But Frank is the manager, and he hasn't had Kane or Sonny, so surely he's designated like.
I don't know who it would be. I mean,
maybe he tinkers so much. He's designated penalty taker's never on the pitch when we get a penalty.
Yeah, Kudus. Yeah, definitely seemed surprised that it was him. But I mean, why would he if he's the designated taker? But maybe he's not. It's really confusing. Kudus, as much as I love him, he doesn't seem like the guy who's going to be great at penalties, to be honest. So, like, in terms of his technique.
But who did?
No, I agree. There's not really any players who I think no, I would really trust him in a penalty.
For the second
situation.
penalty, there was more candidates on the pitch because I think Tell seems like he could probably take a good penalty.
He's taken a few already, hasn't he?
Yeah, so there were more Muani potentially as well. But for the first one, who were the actual it was basically just Richarlison and Kudus, really, and Javi.
Frank said it is sorted out. Well, I don't know what that means. So what did he say? Did he say there is a taker, or I don't know? But I don't know who. Yeah, I guess Javi was looking like he was complaining, but Romero very quickly gave it to him. So I don't know who else would have been up for it.
Javi said after the game that he wanted to take the first one.
Yeah, he wanted to take the first one as well. But did he want to take it just because he felt good and like that's why he wanted it, or did he want to take it because he felt he's the taker? It's a very confusing situation. But obviously, Rishi and Kudus would have been both ahead of him.
But I give credit to Romero showing his leadership abilities, just quickly getting in there and sorting that situation out.
Charlie Bell says maybe it's just up to Romero to pick.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like yesterday. That's what it did seem like yesterday.
Yeah, it's a very odd situation. But do you think Kudus should be our designated taker?
Well, judging on the penalty yesterday, probably not, because I don't think it was a great penalty. I don't think it was right in the corner. I think it was a bit of luck that did go in.
Kudus was the one in the middle.
Oh, sorry. Kudus actually a decent penalty.
Yeah, a bit of power.
He gave the keeper the eyes and went down the middle. Javi's penalty wasn't great. But I don't even know who should be our designated penalty taker. From what I've seen, Tell seems to be our best penalty taker.
Yeah. I think Tell has really good technique and he gets good power on it as well. Obviously, he missed one against PSG, but he did send the keeper the wrong way. I actually think his technique is really good. But Tell's obviously not starting lots of games right now. So, of the players who start, yeah, maybe it is Kudus. Maybe just him till he misses one.
Yeah. Look, I don't mind who they go for. In terms of, but go for someone. You know what I mean? We can't have these mad conversations on the pitch every time.
Too much pressure on though.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You
like,
just gotta have confidence who's taking it, and that's it. Everyone knows.
Yeah, it's like they're not prepared to have a penalty in a game, and it's just like we'll just wing it at the time, and Romero has to come in and be a captain, I guess, and sort it out. And that's what he did yesterday. And I thought Romero had a fantastic game yesterday, to be honest.
Yeah.
Stepping out in defence, his passing was there on show for everyone to see. Obviously had a massive hand in the first goal that we scored with a nice little knock on. Yeah, he was fantastic, wasn't he?
His passing is just so good.
Yeah.
He played this one drilled through ball into Kudus right at the start of the game, which is absolutely astonishing and so nearly got us a goal. Wasn't over aggressive in too many occasions as well. He was just winning his duels. Obviously defensively didn't have that much to do, although I will say there was a couple of times he just put a clearance right up in the air and put us in a bit of trouble. But I thought his passing was just so good, and we just miss it. No one can do that in the team like Cuti Romero. Although I have noticed Van der Ven has started to do a few more of those passes, but he doesn't have the disguise that Romero does. Romero has his body position. He looks like he's going to give it to the winger, and before you know it, he's done a little inside pass to someone like Xavi or just a little to like Gray or something like that. He disguises his passes very, very well and with such quality. And when he's on the form yesterday, it's really great to watch. It's just something that we miss so badly when he's not in the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Such a quality player and such a quality performance from him last night. I actually thought our weakest link in the back line was Van der Ven yesterday. I thought a couple of times they were able to get in behind him. It wasn't his greatest display yesterday, was it?
Yeah, I don't remember too much he did wrong, but obviously got booked to a really stupid
So stupid, man.
Haven't seen it again. It seemed like a really ridiculous situation. He just got past the player and he flails his arm. Now, whether the player made too much of it and it was a wrong decision, or whether it was stupid for Van der Ven to put his arm there, either way, it's just so frustrating that he's going to be missing the next game because we're going to need him.
Yeah. But in terms of the outlook of the group in the Champions League, I mean, by the time when the game finished, we didn't know Liverpool had won, so we thought we were in the top 8. But because Liverpool got that late winner, it leaves us in 9th position. We have to see how the games go tonight to see where we end up at the end of the game week. But
the lowest will be is like 12th, I think, if results go against us.
We are 1 point outside the top 8 with 2 difficult games to come. Dortmund at home and Frankfurt away. You're still thinking we need to win those 2 games to finish in the top 8.
Yeah, I don't think 4 points is going to be enough. You see how many teams are currently in contention for it. Obviously, last season, it was 16 points was the cut-off. which would mean we need 5 more points, which would still mean 2 wins. I don't think 4 points is going to be enough looking at all the teams involved and how close it is. I think you're going to need 2 wins, to be honest. So even 2 wins isn't completely guaranteed, but I think 2 wins should be enough. And I think if we win both those games, I'm fairly confident. I don't think we're going to be in the top 4 or 5, but I think 6, 7 and 8, I think it'll be one of those positions.
I think when you're looking at picking up potentially 6 points over the next 2 games, I think we've got it in us to do it. I don't think it's beyond all realms of possibility. I think they're both kind of games that we could potentially win. But the question is, will we go and do it? You know, my personal opinion is we'll probably get 4 points out of the next 2 games.
Yeah. I think Dortmund are having a pretty decent season, albeit they started really well, and I think they've fallen off a bit recently. But look, there's no reason. We have the quality to beat them. We know that.
Man City beat him 4-1 last time.
Man City beat him 4-1. We definitely have the quality to beat them. It's just what kind of mood they come in. I know we don't play them for a while, do we? Like
End of Jan, yeah.
End of Jan. So
could have a new signing by then. Well, we won't be registered, would he?
No. It depends what kind of injuries we have at that point as well. So we can all make our predictions right now, but become that game, depends what kind of form we're in, momentum, all that kind of stuff. If we can keep up the momentum we have now going into that game, everyone might be buzzing and really confident. Maybe we'll have a few bad results going into that game and a few injuries, and all of a sudden you're thinking it's a tall order to beat them. So we'll have to wait and see at the time. But I think when you just take the team of the quality of team, they're a good team. It's going to be a tough game. But, you know, we're at home. I know that's not necessarily a positive, but we are at home.
It is now.
It is now. Maybe we've got the crowd behind us. There's no reason to think we can't win that game.
Yeah. And if we don't, look, as someone says in the comments, if we don't go and qualify in the top 8, we'll just be looking back to those Monaco and Bodo games where we were just terrible, weren't we?
Yeah, that could probably cost us.
It could potentially cost us, yeah.
On a better note, pretty certain now we're going to be in that top 24. I don't think there's much jeopardy of us missing out on that.
And we'll probably be, if we don't finish in the top 8, we'll be very high in the group, so we'll get a kind draw, hopefully.
Yeah, well, I think it's seeded, isn't it? So we'll place one of the bottom teams.
Albeit, you look at the bottom teams, like Napoli are down there, Leverkusen are down
Juventus,
there, PSV, you know. These
Monaco.
Yeah, exactly. So they're actually, I don't think there'll be an easy game there. Maybe Paphos. Yeah,
Paphos,
Juventus are there.
Wouldn't mind Karabag. I don't know if it's a draw or is it just you play an equivalent. I can't remember. If it's a random draw, or you play an equivalent of whoever's bottom.
I'm not sure. I think it's a random. I don't think it's a random draw. It's a seeded draw.
Draw. I mean, yeah.
I think it's a draw, but I'm not 100% sure.
But yeah, obviously, if we can get into that top 8, great. If we don't, look, we're going to have to play a round of 16 or round of 32, isn't it? So
yeah.
Going to have to just play that tie. It puts a bit more strain on the squad, but you know, is what it is. I think the most important thing is just getting through to that next round, and I think looks like we're there. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. How many points we above 25th?
5.
5 points.
So that, you know, pretty certain that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty certain we're not going to be. I don't know if mathematically it's there. Pretty sure it is, to be honest, because I can't see all those teams getting 6 points.
Yeah, agreed.
So it should be okay.
All right, so we're through to the next round, people. Big up. But no, look, good day all round. That was our match review. Spurs 3, Slavia Prague 0. We're going to move on to player ratings in the game